Aren't you gonna say hello?
Hell no, my nigga, I don't know you.
I, Georgie, am Pennywise the Dancing Clown. You are Georgie.
First and foremost, my name is Georgie. Second and foremost, what you doing down there? You getting high? What are we doing?
There's cotton candy and rides and all sorts of surprises down here.
Oh, y'all ain't seen it? Welcome to October. So, since it's October, I figure I'd give y'all a couple horror movie classics. It is Pennywise the Dancing Clown. The town of Derry was haunted by this lame-ass nigga.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
He used to like prey on kids and shit with like magic. I think him and Freddy Krueger was like cousins, people or something like that. I don't know. This was definitely one of them Stephen King joints. If you know, you know.
Take it out in the street.
It follows the story of two brothers, Bill and Georgie. So I guess Bill ain't want to tell his little brother any stories at the time. He used to tell all these good stories.
Story.
Maybe later.
The magic stone story. Please, Bill. Please.
So he gave his little brother Georgie a boat made out of newspaper. Like, what the fuck is that?
For me? You made it for me?
But Georgie was grateful, and he was highly amused by this boat.
SS Georgie. Come on.
Georgie went out in the rain to sell his boat. And while selling his boat, it went right into a drainage ditch. He got to looking for his boat in the drainage ditch and found a clown in the sewer.
Georgie. Aren't you gonna say hello?
Couldn't have been me. How old was Georgie? About 5, 6 years old. Me, if I'd have caught a clown in a sewer at around that age, I'm not gonna lie, I would have turned into Flash and been out of there. Mans was having a whole conversation with this 50-pack-a-day smoking ass clown.
I'm not supposed to take stuff from strangers. My dad said so.
Very wise of your dad, Georgie. Very wise indeed.
I'm telling you, couldn't have been me. The clown get to talk about floating and all type of carnival rides and shit.
Oh, yes. They float, Georgie. They float.
And he ate Georgie.
You float too!
Like, damn, Georgie. You couldn't have seen that coming. It was a clown in the sewer. Bill was type fucked up after Georgie died. Bill and his friend Eddie used to hang out in the woods. This is where they would meet Ben. Ben was a husky fellow, and I guess the bullies did not like that. The bullies looked like niggas from Grease. You know, Greasers, John Travolta. The bullies pull a knife out on Ben.
Cut him, huh? Cut him. Let's see. First comes.
He was definitely fearing for his life, so he gave the bully a swift boot to the stomach and then fell into the woods. He ran into Bill and Eddie in the woods. These fools promised to make a dam together. I'm like, what is y'all, beavers or something? I don't know. This movie was weird, and I guess the time frame they was in was super weird because they was doing weird shit like making dams outside.
Yeah, me and Eddie were trying to make a dam.
Ben liked this girl named Beverly. He wrote her a poem and delivered it to her house. Bad idea. Her dad found out and slapped fire out her ass.
Daddy, please.
She ran away, and when she ran away, Ben found her in the bushes crying and invited her to come help build the dam with Bill and Eddie. Richie and Stan randomly come out of a bush and joined the Dam Builders. Dam Builders.
Hey, what's this? By George, Martha, it's the River Nile. And count them, 4 sphinxes.
Pennywise the Dancing Clown begins to haunt all of them as a team. Like, what type of pedophile shit was John Wayne Gacy clown ass on in this movie? He caught up with Eddie in a shower at school.
Here I am, Wheezy.
He appeared to Ben in the woods as his dad and a zombie.
They all float.
He comes to Beverly in her bathroom as a balloon in her sink. The balloon then explodes and covers the walls in blood.
Closer, Beverly. We all want to meet you. We float.
Mike is the new kid in town. He's super interested in the town's history. He was also black, so obviously the bullies are definitely going to target him too. They run up on him and take his scrapbook.
Howdy, partner.
The bullies was definitely super racist too.
Or what, boy? Or what? The nigger here lives down the street from me and my daddy, isn't that so? Give it.
They chased Mike through the woods until he came in contact with Bill and his friends. They threw rocks at the bullies to get them to go away, but the bullies started throwing rocks back. One of them so happened to hit Bev. Ben wasn't feeling that shit, and he literally kicked that bully's ass. Mike is the final member to join the clique, and they christened the group the Lucky Seven, even though the most unlucky shit in the world keeps happening to these kids. Pennywise begins to torture the kids.
I'll kill you all.
Until one day, the boy Bill snapped.
I want to kill it.
So they come up with a plan to kill Pennywise. They figure if they shot him with a piece of silver, it was Dunsky for the clown. Beverly ended up being the best shot with the slingshot. She was tasked as the shooter. They got together and headed towards the sewers of Derry. As they were entering the sewers, the bullies were watching and they followed closely behind them. One of the bullies got separated from the group and got absorbed by some weird light. The deadlights. On the way to the heart of the sewer system, the bully snatched up Stan. As they held Stan at knife point, some weird light started coming through a pipe in the sewer, busted the pipe, and absorbed one of the bullies straight back into the pipe. Probably one of the funnier scenes in the movie, though, I ain't gonna lie. The light returned to suddenly absorb the final bully, Bowers, and Stan. Before it could get to him, though, Stan got the hell up out of there. The light covered Bowers, and after it subsided, he was spooked. Spooked so much that his hair turned white. The light began to chase Stan, and he quickly reconnected with his friends. As the light entered the room, the friends held hands, but Pennywise appeared and grabbed Stan up. While the clown held Stan, Eddie wasn't feeling that shit. He pulled his inhaler out, told the clown, "This is battery acid," shot him in the face.
This is battery acid, you slime!
Beverly began to take aim at the clown, and his face started to melt off. She shot twice. The first one missed, but the second one cracked a hole in his head. Shit was crazy. Light started coming out and some more shit. Pennywise hit a backflip and managed to escape through another sewer within the sewer. or a manhole within the sewer. The kids celebrated and promised that if Pennywise was to ever reappear, they would all come back to Derry to kill his ass. The Lucky Seven survive. Act 2 begins with Mike calling each of the Lucky Seven to tell them Pennywise the dancing clown has returned. He came back and a spree of child murders started happening. Bill became an accomplished horror author. He got his call from Mike and headed straight back to Derry.
Here you go.
You sure you don't want me to wait? No.
He told his wife not to follow him. Ben became an architect. Richie became a famous comedian. Eddie just seemed to be an older version of himself, because I ain't gonna lie, he was lame as hell.
It's all in your head, sonny.
You do remember me.
Then we pick up with Beverly. She ended up in an abusive relationship. She started the movie with her daddy slapping the shit out of her. Now we get scenes of her man slapping the shit out of her.
Friend, I have to.
Woo! Tough life. But Stan ended up having it the worst. Soon after he got his call from Mike, he slit his wrist in a bathtub and wrote it on the wall in blood. Super weird. Everyone had some sort of memory loss and weird interaction with Pennywise after entering town. They all met up at this Asian restaurant, where Beverly revealed herself as the group Thotty.
Richie. Oh.
Also, that's when everybody found out about Stan's death. Pennywise visited Bowers, the bully whose hair turned white earlier in the sewer. He was in some mental institution.
Henry Bowers. Up here, sharp stuff.
He helped them escape from the mental institution because Pennywise actually couldn't do anybody no harm. See, that's the reason I think him and Freddy Krueger is cousins, because they both work on this belief and fear aspect. Bowers sneaks into Mike's hotel room and stabs him.
Hello, nigger.
And Mike ends up in the hospital. But Mike ain't go out like no sucker, because the same knife that he got stabbed with is the same one he killed that boy Bowers with. So, salute to Mike for making it out of that. At this point, the 5 remaining of the Lucky Seven was fed up. They all was on one at this point. In the hospital, Mike revealed to him that he went back into the sewers to retrieve the pieces of silver that they took out Pennywise with earlier in the movie.
Hey, it's silver. We can kill it.
But we left these down in this.
Man, this was crazy. Bill's wife drove into Derry and then got kidnapped by Pennywise soon after.
Don't you want it? Don't you want it?
The remaining 5 of the Lucky Seven headed back into the sewers. They was going to kill Pennywise for good this time. As soon as they enter the sewer, they find this brand new purse. Bill grabs it, and it belongs to his wife.
She's down here. It's got her.
That nigga was hot. Pennywise revealed himself to the Lucky Seven this time as a giant spider. Weird, right? Bill, Ben, and Richie all get hypnotized from the glowing lights coming off of the spider's underbelly. I ain't gonna lie, that is some weird symbolism shit. I ain't gonna get into it, but it's like they looked at a spider's wiener and got hypnotized. Eddie tried to pull that inhaler battery acid move again on the spider.
This is battery acid. Now you disappear.
But Pennywise wasn't having it, and this time he just killed that nigga. As he was doing Eddie bad, though, Beverly got her wits about herself and took shots at it, or the spider, or Pennywise. Shot him right in the underbelly, and it seemed to harm him. Pretty bad. Bill, Ben, and Richie get their consciousness back, and finally these dudes snap into reality, and they beat the fuck out of this nigga with their hands. They jumped him. They're supposed to do this in the beginning, but I don't know. I guess something was holding him back. Because they beat the fuck out of that spider. They killed Pennywise bitch ass. Bill rescued his wife from the spider webs that Pennywise put her in. But at this point, she was catatonic. Ben and Beverly leave Derry together, and soon after, they get married. Eddie gets put to rest because, you know, Pennywise killed him. Richie continues his comedy career with some dude that looks eerily similar to Eddie. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Mike finally gets to leave Derry because the death of Pennywise means there's nothing left in the town for him. So he got the hell up out of there. Bill and his catatonic wife prepare to leave Derry. That is, until he laid eyes on his old bike, Silver. So he puts his catatonic wife on the bike, and he hops on the bike, and they just start wilding in traffic. Wilding so much so that his wife snaps back into reality, and they almost have a wreck, but the movie ends with him and her celebrating.
Yes. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. Hang on. Just hang on. It's okay.
The movie comes to an end, and Pennywise is no more. Overall, I mean, as a child, I ain't gonna lie, this was the whole reason I ain't fuck with clowns. It was a good movie, but kind of makes me uneasy just seeing clowns and shit. I don't know, painted faces and ill intentions don't do my mind any good. I feel like Ben might have been tripping Mary and Beverly because, you know, when they all reunited, she was open mouth kissing half of them. I don't know, to each his own though. She was a hitter though, and a shooter. I would have to assume though that the book was a way better story than the movie because it was a Stephen King novel. And the movie was kind of, I don't know, maybe it was the special effects. Because the newer movie was lightweight 5 comparative to this one. But all in all, I give this movie like a C+. You know. You know what I'm saying? If y'all enjoyed this, you know what I'm saying, leave a comment, like and subscribe, and give me more suggestions on movies y'all like to see me review. You know what it is. It's your boy. This ninja, no. That Ninja Keith.